hear me better now? Okay. I'm dealing with the part that anyone who was working with government and turn a pension, you will know what to do. Those who is near going out are those who have gone out because there are aspects where a pensioner dies and leave surviving spouse or children under the age of 19 and there are benefits. A lot of people don't know about this, so you will get that knowledge today. Now, I'm just giving you a overview of a pension is a fund into which a sum of money is added during the employee employment years, and from which payments are drawn to support the pension retirement from work in the form of a periodical payment. That means you get a monthly pension each time until you die. The importance of pension. The pension system play a vital role in our modern society. Social safety for the elders, and it also bringing a source of income. What is retirement? No, retirement is that time when you relax for 365 days. You don't have to worry about getting up early in the morning to rush out to work. You just on your own time. So you stop living for work, but now you are working for your own time. You don't need to hurry about going into work. The function of the pension branch. Now, the pension branch is mandated to develop an administrative policy for Government of Jamaica pension program. This is to ensure that the accurate and timely processing of pension benefit to the public officer and their dependent in accordance with the relevant established regulation, policies, guideline, and standard. Now there are two arms to that. You have the administrative arm and you have the policy. Now, both of them functions are different. For the administrative arm, you have where they calculate your pension benefit as it relates to the policy part of it. They are the ones who deal with the regulation, they deal with statutory bodies and stuff like that. Campbell? No. Pension policy responsibilities. The responsibilities are developing policy, regulation concerning pension within the government, linkage of service and secondment, have an oversight of the responsibility for executive agencies and the regional health authority pension arrangement. Now there are termination, that's okay. Right, termination, payments, award in keeping with pension regulation, responsibility for liaising with the Attorney General Department. Pension administration responsibilities are, they compute the pension benefit. As I said, another word for computation is calculating your benefit. Sorry. Determine the eligibility of the pensioner under the Pension Act. Liaise with stakeholders such as MDAs, agencies, on a timely manner in processing your pension. No. Pension, we have a pension reform in the 1st of April 2018. Right, out of this reform, we have implement and design and implement the public pension the Public Employees Pension Administrative Scheme. This scheme is called PEPAS, So Peppers was designed to improve the quality of service, improve the operation and the performance of processing the pension on a timely and cost-effective manner. Peppers is also connected to the Accountant General's Department to support the processing of pension payment. Now, we're still on the topic pension reform. So what are the benefits of the public? Sorry? Oh. What are the benefits of Peppers? It is, the system is no longer paper-based, so it is online, fully online. Employees will be able to view their career history. So you can log on and you can see from the time you start working with government to the time you retire. Now, it initiates a payout pension benefit on a gradual. We want the mandate to be 30 days after you leave government. You hear a lot of people say that when they leave, it takes so long for them to get their pension. No, yes, no, because the reason for that is it's paper-based. Documents do get mislaid or lost and stuff like that. So in order to process the pension, if we don't have all the necessary documents that is needed, we can't go forward. Hence, we send out officers to the MDAs to try and get these information so that the person can get their benefit. It may take a year, up to 5, but we are trying to lessen that. Hence, we have this new system that everything is online. So it's in a data. And when time comes, it's easily just a click of a button, we have everything. So when you leave, you can get your pension within 30 days. Now the Pension Public Service Act, repeal, Act, it's a number of different acts we have. We have acts for teachers, we have act for the parochial officers. There are so many. So now we end up putting all those acts into one act, and now we call it the Pension Act, Public Service Act. Now, there are 3 grounds in this act for retirement. They are normal retirement age, you have medical ground, and you have public interest. So, can you go back to that slide, please? Right. So the normal age is when you reach age 60. Since 2018, April 1st, it's on a gradual base. So some people will retire at 61, 62, and it continues. I think it leveled off in 2023 where it's going to just be 65. So if you want to leave early, it is now 60 is the early retirement age, not 50 or 54 as before. So it's 60, and the real time, not early now, normal pension age now is 65. Now, one can get sick in the service and need to go, and hence you will be able to, but you would have to have a medical report be done in order to say that you have some ailment that is permanent and you can't continue working. So hence they will send you off and you will get a pension. Or if there is something that happens and they decide they want you to leave, they will ask you to leave in the interest of the public, and so you can retire. So there are 3. Now, that slide shows you the gradual ages of the pension. Qualification for a pension in government, you have to work a minimum of 10 years. You have to be permanent. That means whatever post you are put as, whether secretary or whatever, you have to be appointed in it. And then you have to work for 10 years. You have to also be confirmed in the post after your first appointment. Some will give you like 6 months, some 3, some a year, some 3 years. And hence, once you're confirmed in it, before you leave, you can get a pension. Particulars required are approval of retirement that goes through the Office of the Services Commission, and some ministries have their own delegation, so they will retire you. As I said before, if it is on medical ground, you will have to have a medical report. These are all the documents that they will need in order to process your pension. Oh, the election, that's a crucial one I want to tell you about. When you get the election form, you will see something on it: full pension, reduced pension, plus gratuity. Do not tick the full pension, because if you do that, you will not benefit. The full will, that tricks you, because you say full, you say you want it full, you want everything, but it's just mean that they will work out your pension, and whatever it comes up to, they will break it down by dividing it by 12, and you just get a monthly. When you have the reduced pension plus the gratuity, you get a lump sum that you can do so many things with, and then you get a monthly, right? I share with you the sad story of a client. When she came to me and I sat her down and saw that it was just the monthly. This is a teacher now. And I saw what her gratuity, that the lump sum would be, millions. And I said, why are you giving up all this? You know, haven't you worked hard in the classroom? Do you want to go down the North Coast and relax and enjoy yourself? And when I finished talking with her, she said, okay, I changed my mind, I want it. But by the time I went to the various officers to talk on her behalf, they said, Andrea, we did all of that before. And she said, no. So we are not going to change it. It's not one person, but more than one person. Even the auditors took time out to go to her home, spoke with her on the whole matter, and she said no. So they said they are not going to, because it's not one person tried to convince her. It was a sad one indeed. So I'm just telling you, because if you don't have the knowledge, you will do the wrong thing. And the HR personnel should have been the one to explain and guide you, but some of them themselves don't know and don't interested to know, I would say that, because if they did, then they would have. Okay, so that's, this is just a slide showing you the gratuity, that big lump sum. And if you want a piece of it, I would say, you can apply for an advance. Now the advance is 70% of the gratuity, so you will get the lump sum, just a big portion of it. With the reduced pension now, it is called alimentary allowance, so you get 75% of that in the first instance. You will get that after retirement, after we start processing your documents, within 4 weeks after. However, the file continues process because it has to go through many steps before you get that 30% and that 25% more. Now, factors that which affects pension, your no-pay leave. So persons who down the years in their earlier time think that, okay, I want a break, and their vacation leave is not enough, so they took some more extra, and that is considered as a no-pay leave. It was granted to them. It affects their pension when they get older. So sometimes they may say, oh, I have 10 years, but it is not 10 years because that period, you know, take it down to 9 years and 11 months. So you can't get a pension because of that. So it do affect it. Study leave, remember, you are bonded depending on the type of study leave. So it doesn't really affect it. That's not no pay leave, because remember they use some of your vacation leave within that. So linkage of service. So if you were working with one ministry previously and you left and you take a break or may go on to another, then when you reach pension age, you can tell your present employee that you had service elsewhere and you would like it to be linked. That will send to the policy department. They will link the services. So if you had, say, 10 with one and 7 with the other, both can be linked. So you would have a total of 17 years, which the more years you have and the more your emolument, your salary is, annual salary, you get a better pension. So the less years, not so good. All right. Okay. Some persons are fortunate enough to come into the public service at age 17. Oh, sorry, at age 17. So they don't consider that age when they are processing your pension at age 18 onwards. So you would lose that 1 year. Okay, if you resigned and never come back into government, as long as you have done 10 years and over, you can apply for a deferred pension. So you do that in writing, go back to the last place of work. We know ministries change and the name change, but it is up to you to try and find that ministry that it would have fallen under, for them to dig the records to prove that you were in government so that you can get your pension. Once it is 10 years and over and you were appointed. Now, if you resign and you weren't appointed and you do 10 or 20 years, there's nothing for you to get. That's it. Yes, thank you. Now, these are the formulas that they use to calculate your benefit. So your salary is important. For the full pension, it is the number of months, so they turn the years into months, and they do an average of your last 3 years' salary, right, times 540, and reduce, you divide by 540, thank you. So the reduce is the same. So everything is plugged into a formula. Now, since April 1st, 2018, when the act changed, there's a lot changed too. So a lot of pension calculation has been implemented. So those before, there would be worked out by the 540. Those that came after 2018, I think it go over, divide by 640. So there, right, 600, and there are lots. So Mary Jane and Tom may come in the service in different time span, but they are friends and they actually retire and they are comparing their pension benefit. That's not good because, as I said before, everything affects, based on the time you came in, there may be a different formula used for that person, so they end up with more or less. So you can't compare. Facts you should know: pension is not assignable nor transferable, right? So you can't say, oh, give my pension to this person or that. No, it doesn't work that way. The only thing though, except if you are indebted to the government, that means you borrow, you get a motor vehicle loan and you didn't finish pay it, so you have that balance outstanding. The government will take that out of the pension and it's going to take it out first. So if it is that it is, say, 2 million you're going to get and you have 1.8, all you're going to get is the 200 because the government is going to recover what is theirs first. Also, they can, by the court, if the court order them to pay maintenance to the spouse or minor children, they will do that first before they hand out anything. Also, 1/5 of the gratuity is always withheld. The only way we don't withhold it if we get that letter from the Jamaica Civil Service Mutual Thrift Society. If we get a letter from them to say that you are not indebted or you've never joined them, then they will not withhold that 1/5. But every pension, once they work it out, they withheld that amount of money. Just in case you owe them, they can pay it because it's government owned. So the government makes sure that they clean up, they got their money before they give you yours. Compassionate gratuity. The compassionate gratuity now is persons who are not permanent, right? So they work temporary for part-time workers, casual paid workers. With 10 or more years, they use this formula that you're seeing, and it is called a compassionate gratuity. So it's a one-off payment, right? Once upon a time, district constable used to get just a one-off payment, and that's it. Now they are going to get a pension, thanks be to God, because I think that they do the same work as the police, the regular police, and I think that they deserve the same treatment. So I'm happy that they changed that law. Now the processing of the pension benefit, it starts from your department. They will prepare the necessary document, as I said, no more paper, it goes online, it's sent to us. We will examine if all the necessary documents to process is there. If not, we send out the officers to get it. If everything is there, we compute the pension. We calculate it. After they calculate it, it is checked by 2 senior managers. Then it goes on to the auditing process. The auditing process do their part. Then it goes to the Office of the Services Commission, who is responsible to take it to the Governor General. So every pensioner that leave, the Governor General sign off and approve that. Then it comes back to us. We prepare the letter and advise the Accountant General what to pay you. You will get a copy of that letter that we send to the Accountant General. Pension contribution rate. All permanent appointed public officers will contribute to the fund with effect from April 1st, 2018. It started at 1%, and in 2022, it leveled off at 5%. So now it's just 5% come out of your salary towards the pension scheme. So you're contributing. Before that, nobody used to contribute. The government just said, okay, you're a hard worker, let me give you something. So no, it has changed. You have to contribute to it, but it's 5% of your salary. Refund of contributions. So the Pension Public Service Act, an individual will be eligible for a refund upon abolition and reorganization. If you resign with less than 10 years service, you also can apply for a refund. If you are dismissed, you can apply for a refund. And mark you, if you are dismissed from the public service, you cannot get a pension. Right? Right. If them fire you, you can't get a pension. That you could have served how many years, that's the end of it. All you can get back is your refund. Okay, so now for those who came in or was contributing to the family benefit scheme, that is before 2018, if in fact you have contribute for less than 10 years and you're now contributing to your pension and you decide to leave the public service, you can apply for both. So if you are eligible, well, if you are married or with children, you only get back 50% of the family benefit refund. No, you will get back all the normal pension, the one that you contribute. But there is a trick in that also. If you intend to go back into government, it best you leave it alone. Because once you take it, you cannot use that period again when you reach retirement age. And don't be penny wise and pound foolish to say, I want my money now, and take it. Because down the line, you never can tell that years that you have done can make up and make you get a bigger pension. So I would advise, if you don't have to, don't trouble it. No, lump sum payment, the notion is that since this new pension act came in, you won't get a lump sum. That's not true. The lump sum is still there. That is why we said we pick reduced pension and gratuity. The gratuity is the lump sum. It still exists. Now, what is eliminated is that previously, when they work out what your full pension is going to be, even though you select reduced pension and gratuity, after 12 and a half years, you will get it back. You will resort to the full pension. Now, accountant general who is a paying agent would have known to do that. Sometimes persons come in and, person gets slack, so they didn't remember to do that, so they pick up on it. But now, once you go off, that's it, is what you have gotten. That's what you will get until the government give that yearly increase. But if you just retire, say you retire now in 2023, you will not be eligible for the government increase until 2.5 years. After 2.5 years, then you will see your little money going up. So deferred pension, the payment of terminal benefit does not prejudice an employee eligibility to receive a deferred pension on attaining normal pension age, which is 65. So remember, if you had leave, you resign, you have 10 years and over, I'm coming, sir. You can apply through your previous department for a pension benefit. It is called deferred pension. Yes, sir? I'm going to have a question and answer section, Can you hold that point? Thank you. I'll soon finish. Now, for survivors' benefit, what happens if an officer dies leaving a spouse? No. If a public servant dies leaving a spouse, that spouse can apply for a widow or widower's benefit. No. It all depends on when. Because if it is before April 1st, 2018, you were paying into the family benefit scheme. So once you pay into that scheme, right, you're eligible. Not all public officers paid into that scheme then, because like firefighters, they don't, teachers didn't either. So once they die, their spouse cannot come in and apply. But any teacher that leave after April 1st, 2018, they can, because they were contributing to the normal pension scheme, their spouse or children under the age of 19 can come in to us and apply for a widow or widower's pension, and they will get it. So there are formulas that, as you can see, how they work it out for you to get the different. In the line of duty, they will give 2/3. If it is natural cost, is 1/3 times their pensionable allowance. So they will work that out. So everything goes in a formula in order to determine what your benefit is. I should say also that, let me go to, what happens if an officer dies leaving a relevant child or children? As I said before, if that officer wasn't married but have children under the age of 19, once they are eligible for benefit, we will process that benefit for that child. Upon age 19, it will stop, but if the child goes on to tertiary level, it goes up to 23 years old, or until the course finish. Yeah. Go back. Okay, also, what happens if the officer dies leaving no dependent? Well, the legal personal representative or the estate owner can come in and apply for that debt gratuity that would be there for that officer. Now we're in that session where I invite you to ask your question. Okay, any other? Okay, sector, Mr. Hallin, sorry, he will be the one to answer that. So I just deal with person working into government.
Okay, all right. Next question. Earlier said if a person married and he has children, if the person is married and have children, that children can benefit from that, the pension, under the age, right? What if they are, yes, married, but they have children outside of the marriage? Can they benefit? Can that child benefit from it also?
If they are married and you said the child, so
It's
that
not,
is a,
it's not within, okay, for example,
you mean
I'm
a
using
stepchild?
yeah, yes, like outside child.
stepchild.
Not the step. Okay, I'm using Brother Williams as example. Brother Williamson married to Sister Williams, and Brother Williamson have the outside child. It's not their child. Can his outside child
But
get?
his brother William's
But
child.
his brother, yes, and he died left the pension. Can his child outside get the benefit
As
also?
long as the child is under the age of 19, that child can apply for benefit.
All right, the question was asked about remember we usually pay family benefits.
Yes,
Persons have retired
yes.
and they're not going back into the government sector. And they did not get back that family benefit.
All
What
right.
do they do?
So, for the family benefit, right, that you used to pay that 4% towards that scheme, you hear the word family benefit. So if you die, your spouse or children under the age can. Now, if you retire and you weren't married, nor have any children, you can apply for your refund and you will get the whole 100%, all your contribution that you had paid into the scheme. Now, if you had retire, done over 10 years and retire, and is married, you cannot get it back because when you die, if you die at age 80 and your spouse is alive, that person can come in and apply, they will get a benefit. That is why we're not giving it out. Only way you can get it back, say you retire, however you start getting, you contributed to the scheme less than 10 years. That means your appointment may be laid down near to retirement and they took that money out. You can apply because you had contributed for less than 10 years. However, if you are married and with children, you only can get back 50%.
So that person can go now and apply for it?
As long as it's less than 10 years, that person can apply. Or as I said,
No, it's more than 10.
if the person retires, if the person retired and had a risk when they retired, meaning a risk means they are married or they had children that were young, under the age of 90, they cannot apply for it, even when now the child become of age. Because upon retirement, you are at a risk. So the scheme or the policy that governs it said that you can't because you had a risk carry.
Yeah, I understand, but I don't think that is fair because if it's a family benefit, well, I know the law, but I'm just saying it is not fair because it was a 4% until 2018 when we started paying 1 till 5. So that money was there before, so, and the person is...
Remember, in government, there are policies and regulation that governs everything that we do, and we have to comply. We are not the one that makes it up, and we just have to go with it. However, as I said before, one can apply for it if they retire, only if they have no risk. And risk means they don't have any children under the age of 19, nor have a spouse. It's just like an insurance company. You pay this premium, but you can't benefit as long as you're alive. You have to die for your beneficiary get it. That's it.
Another question I'm asking on behalf of persons.
Yes.
Okay, how long does it take after you have filled out everything, send it to the ministry send it to the relevant person, and it reach accountant general? How long does it take for the persons to start getting their money?
I sure answered that in my,
Yes,
no.
I asked
But-
it can 5 years, but I know persons who
No.
are,
I said because, as I said before, factors can cause it to delay. So normally it's 6 months after. That's the ballpoint we put. But with the new pepper system that I have told you about, we are aiming for 30 days after retirement. Some persons can attest to it. I heard them on the radio that talk that they do get their pension within that 30-day period. However, those who it can't go for is those who didn't have proper records. So, say for instance, you were appointed. Your department sent over your documents for retirement benefit. However, they didn't send your appointment letter. We don't know. We have no proof. We have to get that proof to say that, yes, you were appointed X time. So it proves to say that you have the allotted amount of time. Remember, you have to be permanent, to get the pension. So that proves also that you were permanent, you have worked from X to Y, and you are eligible for a benefit. Without those documents, or it can be another thing. The salary that they send to us, when we check, it's not correct. We have to go back to them to say, no. A ST2 salary was Y. Why were you paying this person less? So a lot of people don't know what is going on behind the scene. But the government is here for you to benefit. So when a file takes a long time, because we could have just sent it through and you get less than what you deserve, but we want that to know that you benefit properly, right? So we have to go there, get the information to move on.
Good evening or afternoon. I don't sure if I understand you accurately enough in terms of government to government. For instance, I work with SCJ.
Pardon, I didn't hear what you said?
I work with SCJ,
Oh.
and I've done a period of 21 years with SCJ. And after redundancy, and I check NIS office, all them tell me say 1 year money me have up there. Is it?
I'm going to tell you, leave that for NIS because you don't fall under the central government. So you would fall under the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. So you hold that question for Mr. Halley.
So SCJ.
Any more questions?
Okay. Every year the government tends to tell that there is an increase. There was one that happened last year, April 1st, 2022, and it is being paid out now. So pensioners do see that increase in their pension. As I said before, those who recently may not see it because you have to be sitting out or holding out for 2.5 years before you start getting those pensions whenever the government say. Now, it is normally a list we get with the amount that they would pay out. So I can't say often that it will be $1 or $2, but until the document reach our hand, we can speak about it. I guess that's it for now, and thanks for having me.
Thank you, Andrea. We can always depend on you. You're like Lauda. And I am sure and I am hopeful that your concerns were addressed and that, you know, for persons who are thinking about or who are planning retirement or going off shortly, that you will be more informed and tick the right box, as what she says. Okay? Thank you again, Andrea. God bless you. Amen. Now it's over to Mr. Allen, Pastor Allen, for his presentation.
All right, thank you very much. Yes, please help me again. All right, as you heard my name already, you know my name and everything. I'm a National Insurance Inspector, Senior National Insurance Inspector. Somebody wondering what is that really? A Senior National Insurance Inspector is a gazetted post. We are given specific geographical area within a parish to police all matters that relate to NIS. In that, we visit all businesses. Once a business is operating, we are empowered by law to visit the business to ensure that they are deducting from the employees and paying it over. Right? If they are not, then we take action, several different actions. But that's not what I'm here to tell you. No, it's just a little about NIS. NIS, what is NIS? Some person just seeing it taken from their salary while they're working. All right, NIS is a compulsory contributory system for all persons who are gainfully employed in Jamaica. Once you're gainfully employed, then by law, you must contribute to this system. All right, next slide. We categorize persons as employed, self-employed, and voluntary contributors. Employed persons work with an organization, a company, or the domestic worker in their private dwelling home. They are considered as employed persons as well and should contribute. And then we have self-employed persons. We know them, taxi drivers, hairdressers, such the like. They are self-employed persons. They ought to contribute as well. And then we have voluntary contributors. Voluntary contributors are those persons who are under retirement, has ceased gainful employment, but wish to continue contributing to this scheme so that they can get a benefit later on. Hallelujah. And that is ages 18 to 70. So we explain the 70 business. What is required to get NIS? Well, most persons at age 18 would have already registered and they would have gotten their PIN card. Most persons PIN card like this, right? So it is still valuable, but the younger persons, their card look like this one, white. So if you have the pink one, it doesn't mean that it's redundant, it's still valuable, but we have stopped using the pink, it's now white. No, you don't have to upgrade. You can still keep the pink one, it is still valuable nonetheless. Right? But if you lost the pink one, you're gonna get a white one. All right? So the NIS card has a letter and 6 digits. Pink or white is a letter with 6 digits. The letter represents the parish in which you receive it, not necessarily born, which you receive it. The first 2 digits tells your year of birth. So if you're looking on your card and your first 2 digits is not your year of birth, you need to visit us with your birth certificate or passport so that we can change it. The next 2 tells if you're male or female. Not sure how they're going to manage when the other thing coming, but it is still. It shall not be in the name of Jesus. We will still keep it. Amen. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so that's what that tells. And the other 2 are 0 to infinity. All right? How much do we contribute? All right, so there has been an amendment to the NIS Act and regulation from, it looks like you're going too far. Yes, we started in 2019. So some person would realize that since 2019 they paid more. All right, so what happened in 2019 was that there was an increase from 2.5% of your salary to 2.75%, and your employer was required to match that amount to make it to 5.5% that you pay for NIS. Then there was another increase in 2020, or the self-employed person would have paid the entire 5.5% of their income. Right, we have 2 categories of self-employed. There are those that are required by law to file their personal income tax returns. So in doing that, they pay the 5.5%. But for a back juice vendor or such the like, they would not be required to file their personal income tax returns, and they would contribute to NIS using what we call a stamp card. They're required to purchase NIS stamps at the post office. They look like these. Any post office sell them, they affix them onto the inside of the card. Until it is completed at the end of the year, they return the card to us. the domestic worker in the private dwelling home also are required to contribute using the stamp card and the voluntary contributors. So if you're a self-employed person not already contributing under retirement, I would suggest that you contribute so that you can get a benefit later on. All right, so in 2020, yes, there was another increase. We moved from 2.75 to 3% of your salary, and your employer was required to match that amount. Sometimes we talk figures and we don't understand what we're saying. So let me just break it down for you. What should come out of your salary to know if they're robbing you? Because sometimes they rob people. So the maximum that should come from your salary in 2020, we soon tell about 2023. The maximum they can deduct from you was $3,437.50 for the month. If you're a fortnightly person, $1,586. I can give you the information for you to match to find out whether or not you are being robbed, and then take it up with your accounts department. All right, next. That's what I'm saying, the maximum. So it's 3% of your salary to a maximum of that amount. Understanding? 3% of whatever your salary is. But if 3% of your salary goes above the 3,437, they only can take $3,437. Understand? Right, good. Good. Next slide. Okay. So in 2021, there was another amendment. This time what we did, it was still 3%, but we increased the maximum. We moved the maximum salary from 1.5 million per annum to 3 million per annum. So that amendment would only affect the persons who are getting above 1.5 million per annum. So if your salary was below, then there would be no change for you. But persons who are earning between 1.5 and 3 million, then it would have affected them. Then again, next, 2022, that's last year, there was the final amendment where again we removed the ceiling salary from 3 million to 5 million. If you were getting less, it would not have affected you. All right? Question. Oh yes, you can ask question while I'm in the presentation. Sometime you will forget. So go ahead, please. All right, so the amendment was just from 2019 to 2022. There was no amendment since then. She said she hoped there will be no more amendment. But yes, question, roving mics. There's a question.
I've reached the age of 73, and it happened that I lost my NIS card. It was a pink card. I can remember that I got 05 M on it, I think, either M or B, right, on it. And I went up to the headquarters in New Kingston there, right?
Ripon Road?
Yeah.
Ripon Road,
They
okay.
tell me that I would have to go back and get all the information so they can do anything to it.
To get the card?
To get back the card. Yeah, a pink card. And up till now, I don't receive nothing from NIS because I don't have a pink card. So how can I go about getting back something
I have
from
a
it?
form. I just need a name and date of birth for me to check on my system that I can find your NIS.
I can't give it right out.
Unfortunately, I'm not at work.
Yeah.
But I can get somebody to do it for you. I'm on leave just now. I'll be going back next week.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be going back to work next
So,
week.
yes.
But I can take your information and have it processed. It's a free card. It should take 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That they should not be bringing you around the bush like that. All right, but I can take your information. Please let me not leave
So
without taking your information.
Who can I give the information to?
Me. This is the NIS office here right now.
Yes.
So I'll take your information and I will do the legwork to take it there and bring it back to you.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Good. All right. Her before you. Sorry, she before you. Go ahead. Use the mic.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
What I don't understand, you're saying the retirement age is at 70?
All right, so let me explain that. All right, there was an amendment to the NIS Act and Regulation, just as my previous speaker was saying, in 2011. Ours start before theirs. In 2011, we removed the pension age gradually from 60 to 65.
Okay.
So persons who retire at 60 gradually it would have been increased to 65. So over 5 years period. So the retirement age, well, men were already at age 65, so it was only women it would have affected. Women who were born on or after the 1st of April 1951. Once you're born after that date, it would have affected you. So the new age for female is 65. However, if you continue to be employed under the Act and Regulation, you are required to continue contributing up to age 70. At age 70, that is deemed retirement. So working or not at age 70, you are deemed retired, none should be deducted from your salary, and then you get your pension at that age. So it's only for persons who continue to be employed.
Okay. I want to understand, because I'm 66 now. I'm 66, but I've go through no process of my NIS.
Or you have not applied for the pension?
No.
Okay, unfortunately I didn't get any form, but I'll try to get your information. At 66, you should have already applied.
Okay.
All right?
All right, sir. Okay,
Good.
thanks.
Brother Williams, your time.
All right, so a question was saying, would she be eligible for back money? Yes, once you have passed age 65, so would have paid you from your 65th birth date, so you wouldn't have lost any portion of pension any at all. So even though you didn't apply at that time, would have given you from your 65th birth date to the time that you actually applied. All right.
I understand you're saying that you had to do what you call policing, to
Yes.
police employers
Yes,
to make sure that the deduction turnover.
yes.
How long since that took place?
How long?
Yeah. How long since you see? Is that begin from the moment, from the employment, from NIS Institute, or at a certain point?
Yeah, from NIS was instituted in 1966. That was always the case.
Always the case.
Yes.
All right. I have an experience. Maybe you can help me then. Because as I said before, you work with SCJ, Sugar Company of Jamaica.
Yes.
21 years.
Yes.
And even before me employ the company, me through income tax. Through NIS. The company redundant of employers in 2008, 2009, somewhere within that region.
Yes.
And out of curiosity, sometime in the 2000, like about 2015, whatever, I was in Spanish Town, so somebody said, check the office and find out if anything of the firma. When I went up there, and a matter of fact, they said the name synonym for me. So I know I have one of those pink cards, and when I came for it and returned and showed them, and when them check account to them, a 1 year deduction then say come up there and a 1994. So how could that be?
All right. All right. Very good question. And I must say, on that background, under the law, you are empowered to visit the NIS office at least once per year. That's your right
All right.
to check to see if your contributions that are being deducted are being paid over. You have that right so to do, because we realize my years of experience, many times I've visited company and they have 20 workers and they only pay for 10. No, we won't know that is 20 unless you come in, because we are seeing contribution coming in, so we believe that it's only that amount of persons unless we do an audit. So we won't know unless you come in. So when you come in now, you're telling us that you have been there working, but they are not contributing for you. It gives us now that privilege to go to them, to check their records, do an audit to see who are the persons that they are paying who are not on the NIS records, so that we can check. That's an unfortunate
Yes.
for you at this time, but persons within what era is this parish?
For me and the 1,000 more that happened to. But let me say again.
But if they deduct it, they should still pay it over once it was deducted.
All right. Let me ask you another question, because a layman like myself and others who just seek employment with somebody, and we know that we get the job, and all of a sudden we just know that some money I go to NIS, some I go to NHT, some I go to union, that, and we don't know nothing about no law, no right. Besides, we know that they make deduction.
Okay.
Is that we are, yes, well, let me consider that to be an unfortunate situation as another way to scam the poor.
All right. You really should not leave it there, as I said. Even though you didn't know before, now you know and you're coming. Once it was deducted and we have proved that it was deducted, we should still go to the company and ensure that they pay it over for you. All right. Is in this parish? Head office is in this parish? Oh, so that is out of my jurisdiction. I'm just Kingston and St. Andrew.
All right.
But by right, we can. We have person that, I have files of person, I have a file for a person that indicated that they were working with a company for a number of years. And when I check the records, I'm not finding all the years, and I realize that if I don't get all the years, the person would not get a pension. And what I did, they were quarreling with me, how long me have the file and everything, but what I know was that I'm trying to let the person get a pension. So I went to the organization and I ensure that I get the information. I say to them that you have to pay for this person once the person was employed, because from the audit that I did, the person was employed from X, but they didn't start paying NIS until Y. So that was the information that I need. I say, okay, the person was employed here, you should have deducted from their salary. The NIS Act also say, failure on the part of the employer to deduct, they are required to pay the two portions on behalf of the employee. So if they didn't deduct it, they're supposed to pay the portion they should have deducted plus the portion that they should have paid for the employee. So I did that for the person so that the person could have gotten a pension. Yes, it took long, but they eventually get their pension. So I'm saying it's a similar thing we should do for all persons once we get the information that you were employed there. All
Away,
right?
sorry. Okay, my question.
Yes, go
Away
ahead.
from the teachers, my admin and ancillary staff, returns have been made, SO2 form, by the 31st or the 30th of March. 5 years ago, persons went there. 2 years ago, came back to say nothing has been sent over. What's happened?
Okay.
When they send back, I can pull my file because I always have my file. I can pull my file that I get from the system to
Yes.
copy it and send to them. When they go back, they're saying that the system is not updated. Why is this so?
You mean NIS system is not updated?
NIS is not updated, and that we have not. And you know, say people will come kill you for their money, right?
Yes.
So when they say the money is not and we have not filed and we have not sent over, what do? I have to be sending my copy or copy my copy to send to them. Say, here is the fact that we have paid the admin and ancillary staff money. What
All
happened?
right. All right, so sorry for that unfortunate situation. That should not have been the case. Once it is filed at tax administration, by the following day we are supposed to be seeing it on our system. But I should also say sometimes the person checking do not actually do the detailed search. Sometimes there are glitches with the system, but persons like myself who are senior in the system will know what the glitch is and is able to request the full information from Tax Administration Jamaica. So if the employee visit NIS, NIS is saying that they are not seeing it, yes, just tell us that you did actually submit it. There must be a glitch somewhere and we can work it out. All right?
Okay, one person retired in 2021 at the age of 65. They have not received any pension benefit as yet. All the forms were filled out,
And submitted.
submitted, and
Yes.
there's also a part on it for disabled.
Okay.
The doctor signed, it is signed up, nothing, bank account information sent off, nothing.
All right. What I would need to do is to check to find out where it is. There may be, as you heard, sometimes. By and large, it was always a paper-based system. And so it would have taken some time to get the information that we need to pay your pension. Because if you indicate that you are working at a company for X years, we want all the years so that we can give you your full pension. So if we're not seeing everything, then we are going to the company to get the information. Sometimes it takes long to get the information from the company, especially if there anybody here that work with Ministry of Health. It will take very long to get information from Ministry of Health. Very long, and their records were very bad in the early years. So you know that your pension is going to take long. What I advise persons to do if you have not yet retired, before retirement, get a letter from your company detailing all the years that you contributed. You work and contributed NIS and the amount. Bring it to us when you are filling out the retirement application so that we would have all the years and it would not take long for you. That's what I advise many persons.
Also, they can get it from all the companies.
All
the companies, and just
all the
keep them
companies. Keep
just
them,
in case.
and then when you're filling out the retirement application, you also take it along so that the process will be less. Go ahead.
Like for persons who are elderly who decided not to use a bank account,
Yes.
right? I read in the paper that the neighbor, that it is starting in Kingston and they have to have it. So how will that affect a person who normally gets their book and not the money transferred to the bank?
All right. What is happening is that the government is trying to put all payments on the electronic system. But based on the pension law, we cannot deny persons their pension. So if you don't have a bank account or you wish to continue getting the pension order book, we have no choice but to continue to give you your pension order book. We will persuade you, try to persuade you to get electronic, but we can't force you. If you want to continue getting by way of pension order book, we have to pay you that way. All right?
Okay. I've been working for a company for 18 years. And when I asked if all those things paying, they said yes. Not until when I finished the job and went to the NIS company, I heard that I only paid for for 8 years. So what happened to the
All right, so
what
that's
happened to
all of those years.
all those years?
All right, so
And
that's
I
similar.
remember I used to pay when you buy the stamp and no, no man, that was I was doing domestic work at that time.
Oh, you're a domestic worker. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we can get the 10 years service, what happened to the 8 years? Gone
Right.
down the drain?
All right. So the domestic worker is kind of tricky. Kind of tricky because unlike the employer, we can walk in to visit the employers as long as it's a business, but we cannot visit the private dwelling home. And so that's how many of the employers who are domestic employers, they get away. So once, if we don't find it on our records, then unfortunately, yeah, there's nothing that we can do. We can only persuade, but we tell you that the law also say that you can take it up in court because they denied you a pension, right? Because of those years that you worked. But I'm not sure how that will work, but that's the only one that we cannot really deal with, the domestic worker, because we are not empowered to visit the private dwelling home to investigate that matter. All right? Go ahead.
I need to ask you a question. My son died last year, and he was paying NIS. When I went to get a benefit, they only tell me that only 1 year only 1 year money they see on the system. And he was working with a company for 5 years. What do I do?
You have proof that it was deducted from his salary?
Yes, sir.
Then you should have talked to a senior person. Is it St. Catherine office? I
No.
only can deal with Kingston and St. Andrew.
No,
Is Kingston?
Yes.
Then you can ask for me next week, not this week.
Okay.
Ask for me next week, and I will take up the matter for you.
All right, thank you.
All right.
So in this case-
let me complete the presentation
Wait,
because
in
some
this
of
case, like how she asked,
yes.
would she be eligible for the burial grant?
All right. So we have to calculate the burial grant based on your age and based on your employment. But it is in the slide, so that's why I want to get to it so that it can
Okay.
tell you how that
Okay.
works. All right, what happens to our contributions? Our contribution, well, you know, is used to pay the benefit as well as administrative expenses, and the surplus is what we invest so that we can keep the fund afloat. So next slide, please. We invest at the end of, this need to be updated, but at the end of March 2020, we had $112.05 billion in NIS. It's more than that now, so that we can keep the fund going. Question relating to that? All right, wait on the mic.
Yes. I was granted a permit to work in Bermuda.
Yes,
The paper went through Ministry of Labor.
yes.
After 4 years, they collect the what do you call it? The benefit, right? And tax and so on from it. After 4 years, I come back out and apply just the other day. And they say there is no money there for me. No pension there for me.
From Bermuda.
Yeah.
All right.
So I would like to know how comes all a place like that them collect your tax,
That's a little out of our jurisdiction, though, you know.
but everything go to Ministry of Labor here, so them supposed to see us through.
No, it's a little different. It's a little different, even though it's the same ministry. It's the work permit section that deals with jobs outside of Jamaica, not really NIS. There was a reciprocal agreement with some of the Caribbean countries. I'm not sure if Bermuda was a part of it, but I can check and let you know. But as I said, it's really out of our jurisdiction. We were not able to do anything if they didn't deduct it, because it's not in Jamaica.
So
Understand?
There is nothing that Ministry of Labor could have done there. But if you don't get the facts right, Ministry of Labor, because when the employer from over there send and seeking Jamaican workers, right, they have to apply for us out here, right? And they say they have to post some document and certify that the Bermuda employ people over there, right, is not eligible for the work, so we can get it. So how is it that we go up there and labor, them draw the tax from us, and when time for benefit, no benefit?
As I said, that's a little out of my jurisdiction. I'm not able to talk to that because it is outside of Jamaica. All right, it's the work permit division that will be able to speak to that one. All right, next slide, please. Oh, here are the benefits now. First one is retirement. At age 65, you apply. It is not compulsory. You are required to fill out the application, taking proof of age document being birth certificate or passport. Then we also need your TRN and ID if you have not, if it was not your passport, already submit. For the newer pensioners, we are asking them to submit bank information so that we can send it electronically to their bank. If it is that you do not have a bank account, we try to persuade you, but we cannot force you. If you want us to pay through pension order book, then we have to, by law, pay you that way. All right? Question? Yeah, go back a little, please. Go back. All right, so let me explain before you ask the question. We have the invalidity benefit. Invalidity benefit are persons who are under retirement, sick and unable to work again because of illness. So you have not reached 65, but you are sick and unable to work. You have acquired a terminal illness, then you can apply for this job. There's a contribution criteria to be satisfied. 156 weeks. That's 3 full years. Once you have paid 3 full years, then you would have qualified for this benefit. Then you have widows and widowers benefit. There are 4 conditions under which you can apply for the widow, 3 for the widower. 1 that applies to the widow, that doesn't apply to the widower, is that she was pregnant at the time of death of her husband. Married or common law. Right? So that's a condition that applies, widow only. The other 3 are, they are just the widow or widower. Next, there's a child or children under 18 of the deceased or of either party of the union. Adopted child or children can work also. Of course, the adoption should have been before the person died. And then the final one is that the living spouse is sick and unable to work again because of illness. Then we pay that benefit. If at the time of the decease, the living spouse was under 55 years old, and the only reason is that she is the widow or he is a widower. Under 55, it's only payable for 1 year and then cease. If you're over 55, then it's payable for life. If there's a child or children, then it's payable until the last child reach 18. At 18, then it ceases. Or if at 18, the widow or widower is 55 years old or over, then it's payable for life. So those are the catch. So if you're under 55, young lady or young man, no child under 18, then only 1 year. All right, understand? Question still? Or explain? Explain. Next slide, please. Orphans. So both parents are deceased, then the guardian of the child or children under 18 can apply for this benefit. One or both of the parents must have been a contributor. Right? They must have contributed to the scheme, and there's a contribution criteria. 1 year. 1 year, they must have, at least 1 year, they must have contributed to the scheme to be eligible for this benefit. The next one, special child, is similar to the orphans. It is a case where mother is deceased. And here we say it's a kind of unbalanced. It says mother. It doesn't go the other way around unless men lobby to get it changed. But it says mother is deceased, father also deceased or whereabouts unknown. Then again, the guardian of the child, it is still unbalanced, because if I am the person that is applying, it is payable to my wife. That's how it is, but not a problem. They say women keep money better than men. So they pay it to the women. But yes, the mother deceased, a father also deceased, or whereabouts unknown, then the guardian of the child under 18 gets this benefit. Or this special one called special anniversary pension, but it's only payable to persons who were born on or before January 1, 1908.
Really? No, we're not born yet. 08?
All right. Yes. We still have some persons in Jamaica that we are paying. Jamaica have the longest liver on earth still in Jamaica. Yeah, we do have lovely girls in Jamaica. So there are few persons. The idea behind this pension was when NIS started in 1966, those persons were already over the age and could not have contributed to get a pension in their own right. So it was really a gift to them. All right? But so if you know anybody right now that was born before 1908 and is not already getting it, then take them with their birth certificate as quickly as possible to ensure that they get that one. All right, there's one that you're not seeing before you move. There's one that you're not seeing, the sugar workers pension. It should have also kicked in for you. And that's what I'm saying. If it was my parish, I would ensure that you get it. Because the sugar workers pension, when NIS started in 1966, the only other pension scheme in the island was the sugar workers. We took them over, and that is the reason why we still pay sugar workers pension. Gradually it will be changed to NIS, but we still have persons that we are paying. And that is the reason why I'm saying to you that I, knowing that information, I will be able to get that so that you can at least get the sugar workers pension, if not the NIS retirement pension. But I will work, but the younger persons nowadays not doing some of the things. If they don't see it on the computer, they just say you're not getting it and it finish. But if you can take it higher, because you can, since we took over the sugar workers pension. Do I know persons in Spanish Town? Yes, I'm familiar with persons in Spanish Town, but as I said, not everybody will be willing to do that because it's a manual search that you're going to do. It's not on the system, you have to go through files. Right, and so many persons will not do that, especially now that they want you to do a lot of things in a small amount of time. Then one, that will be considered as one unit of work, and persons are going to say that they're going to lose the amount that they should get. But I will do it for persons. I don't care. I do it because once you're supposed to get your pension, you get a pension. That's what I'm saying. But sorry, you're out of my jurisdiction. Employment, injury, benefit. So there's an accident on the job, takes away from the job 4 days or more, then you're entitled to the employment injury benefit. Even if your employer give you a benefit, you're still entitled to the one from NIS. You didn't know that. Oh, Lord.
Take very long.
Yes, it takes very long.
So I have a teacher.
But
that,
it's your own.
Yeah.
So if it's your own, you have to get it whether or not it takes long. So it's the money that you did not bargain for, you will still get it. Go ahead.
I had a coworker who injured on the job. He still haven't gotten anything from us as yet, but knowing this, the injury was about maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Would he be still entitled if he applied?
All right, are you entitled after 3 years or so? All right, so there's a clause in the act that says the benefit should be applied for within 6 months or a maximum of 1 year. But there's also a part that says, that gives you the ability to make what we call a late claim. So you explain to us why you didn't make it at that time. And because the person adjudicating on that matter are independent persons, still make the application. And if not, they will deny it. But at least you make your application. We don't know whether or not you will get it. So still make the application. All right?
I have a suggestion. Knowing that this is something new to me, I'm learning, I think that you should go to the various departments and explain this in government. You understand me? So at least we all know, knowledgeable of how we can benefit. Because many times things happen and you could have been benefiting, but because of lack of knowledge, you can't reap it. You understand?
Okay, thank you very much. That is so true. We also ask that you, each one, tell one. So you tell somebody else when you learn. Even though it don't apply to you now, it may apply to somebody that you know. So pass it on to them. I have been going around since 2010 to various different organizations. This is what I do. That's part of my job. I've been to church settings. I've been to all over Kingston and St. Andrew. And only if I'm invited in St. Catherine. Only if I'm invited. Even though I live here, only if I'm invited here. So each time I go, persons that are still saying the same thing, that is the first that they're hearing it. I'm not sure what to do in terms of, we can be booked. So you know somebody, you have in an event like this, then you call us. We are supposed to come to your organization. This experience realized that sometimes they don't. But I have gone everywhere that I can, except for Sunday. Ministry is the only place now that I come Sunday. Sunday is church for me, so I don't go anywhere that day. But ministry is yes, ministry is special. Yes. Any other day except for Sunday. Yes, so please do that so that persons can get that information. And if your office, now you know that I work there. So if St. Catherine office put you off, then you can call me, right? Because the information is necessary for all persons. Once you're contributing to NIS, then you're entitled to the benefit just the same. All right? Next, temporary incapacity, employment injury, disablement. So there's an accident on a job, it takes away from the job 6 months or more. Or it is a case where you have 10% or more body loss. But I'm not a medical practitioner, so I'm not sure how 10% is arrived at. But say you have lost a limb, you don't need to wait for the 6 months. That is more than 10%. So right there and then you apply for this one called the disablement, which is a pension in its own right. So it would give you a pension. From there you can go back to work, continue working while still getting this pension. Once a 10% or more was established, you will still get a pension up to retirement. At retirement, it is converted to retirement pension, even if you are working. Right, so this is the only one that you get. Yes, while you're working. And then employment injury death benefit, where there's an accident on the job and the person dies. Then the mother of the deceased, the spouse of the deceased, the guardian of children or children under 18 of the deceased, or in that order. Well, not necessarily that order, but those are the persons up front that can apply. If that doesn't apply in that case, then we allow Administrator General to administrate on the matter to tell who can get the benefit if those persons are not in the mix. All right, then we have maternity allowance, but maternity allowance in this case is only payable to the domestic worker in the private dwelling home. All right, once they were contributing, then they can apply for this benefit. We pay 8 weeks of whatever the national minimum wage is. That's what they'll get as a benefit from NIS. And then funeral grant. Funeral grant now is payable upon the death of an NIS contributor or pensioner or his or her spouse. So say, for example, I work and contribute to NIS, and my wife never worked and contribute to NIS. God forbid she died before me. Then based on my contribution, I can get a funeral grant for her. It will not take away when I die. Whoever prepare my funeral expenses will still get the funeral grant based on my contribution. Understand that? Take too long? It is very funny. I used to be in funeral grant. It's very funny that they try to upgrade since I leave. They try to upgrade to the electronic system, and that is when it's taking longer. Very funny. Because we used to pay while we were there, we used to pay within three weeks of the application, and those were manual system that time. But we were very meticulous in terms of what we do. So we quickly passed the file along because we realized that it's a funeral grant and a person may need it to help with the funeral. So we used to do that, but since we left and they are saying that they are upgrading the system, it is taking much longer. I just have to take the complaint and pass it along. I can't do anything because based on what they are saying, it is now upgraded. So I don't know, I'm not sure what to do. Really not sure what to do in terms of that. All right, how much do we pay as funeral grant? We pay $90,000. It should be increased since April, but it has not yet been gazetted, and it is causing pure confusion in the office. Yes, it is causing a lot of confusion because it is not gazetted, we cannot pay more than what was already there. So persons that have died since April, 1st of April, still get $90,000 until it is gazetted. They will get the retroactive afterwards, but for now is that they're getting still. All right? That's another question, or what the amount should be, because the Prime Minister said one thing and the Minister of Labor said something different. So I'm not sure yet which of them is correct. All right, I'm so sorry about that. The Prime Minister in his presentation say one thing, the Minister of Labor said something different, but we will try to work it out in due time so they can get what you are supposed to get. All right, our newest benefit is the NI Gold card. a health card for all persons who are pensioners. Once you're a pensioner, automatically you should get the NI Gold health card, right? So it's not only retirement pension. If you're getting widow's pension, you are supposed to get it as well. Orphans pension, invalidity pension, any one of those. As long as you're getting a pension, you are supposed to get the NI Gold health card as well. You can use it alongside your other health cards. So when you go to your medical practitioners and your pharmacies, etc., you'll pay little or nothing because NIS would have covered a portion. Hold on first. How you get the card? It is automatic. Within 3 weeks after the award of pension, after the pension is awarded, not applied for, awarded, it is supposed to be sent to the address that you indicate on your application form. If after 3 weeks you have not gotten it, then call us. Sometimes it's just a little glitch. So call us so that we find out where it is and have it delivered to you. Question?
Sorry to be asking so much question, but all right, for the NI Gold, right? There are pensioners who use it, but the NI Gold, I don't think the money that is sufficient. I think the Ministry of Labor look at it to say that some of them have another pension card, but what about for instance, a domestic worker who throw their pension? When they get this, once they go to the doctor, it can't hardly cover anything much. So I think you should reconsider getting, a little more.
All right. So you hear the question. She believes that we should put more on the card so that you can get more when you go to your medical practitioners. Well, I'm a little youngish, and I wouldn't agree with that on the basis that you did not contribute to get it. It is just a gift to you. Your contribution went to your pension. So the NI Gold was just something to help you. So if we take more, we'll be deducting from the contribution. So when me reach pension age, nothing not in the kitty so that me can get a pension. So that's the only ground that I would not agree. Right? So it is just a gift to you. So it's not your contribution that actually give you the NI Gold card. So we don't want you to take out everything out of the little kitty. So when we reach the pension age, then there is nothing. All right? So that is just it. No disrespect or anything like that. That's just it. All right? $5,000 for, no, that is for one benefit. Yes, for one benefit. Remember, it's not only one thing that we pay for. We pay for prescription drugs, diagnostic services, dental and optical services, doctor's visits, surgery, hospitalization. I'm sorry I don't have the amount here for each. But yes, $5,000 for one of the benefit, but it's not for everything. All right?
I understood what you're saying. However, this is nothing to do with the NI Gold now. About person contributing to the NIS. Is it that each person get a different depending on how much you contribute?
For the NI Gold?
Not the NI Gold, no.
For
when you reach retirement,
pension?
you're going to get your pension, your NIS pension.
Yes. So
suppose I am in the 3 million, and another person is below, like beyond a million. Do they get the same amount of pension, or it is different?
All right. So you heard that, everyone? Do I get the same amount of pension? Some amount for pension, or is it different? It is different, but the next slide, I believe, would tell you how we calculate how much you get. Well, we already tell about the 65 and 70. This slide is there to tell you that once you contribute, you should apply for your benefit once you reach retirement, because if you take too long, we only pay 3 years retroactive. So if you take 5 years, you're going to get 3 years retroactive. All right? Only that. Next slide, please. All right, so we have 3 levels of benefit. We have full rate, 3/4 rate, and half rate pension. How do we arrive at this? We calculate the total years that you're eligible to contribute to the scheme from your 18th birth date to the date of retirement. Or from 1966 for some persons who would fall in that category. From 1966 to your retirement date. All the years, whether you worked or not, we total all the years that you're eligible to contribute to the system. And then we total the number of weeks that you actually contribute to the system. So with the total weeks, we divide by the total years to get an average. So total weeks by total years to get an average. If the average is 10 to 25, 10 to 25 gets a half rate pension. 26 to 38 gets 3/4, and 39 and over gets a full rate pension. Even with that, we still have 2 different calculations. All right, so we say, oh, this is the all-time calculation, but let me use it since it is there. Since April, there's a new amount. It is not here. I was looking for it on my phone, but didn't find it in time. But say, for example, if all your years of contribution, you contribute using the stamp card, then you would only get this as your pension. I don't know why I didn't convert it to months, because it's months that we are paying now. So half rate $1,700 per week, 3/4 $2,550 per week, and full rate $3,400 per week. If when we total your average it is less than 10, you get a grant of $50,000, a one-off check of $50,000, and that's it. If, however, you contributed through an employer, just like us who are employed, then in addition to the flat rate, we have another formula. We say for every $13 contributed, an additional 6 cents per week is added to the basic rate to give a benefit. So I did a calculation for somebody who were employed from 1973 to 2020 at the maximum, and in addition to their 3,450, their additional amount would have been $4,687.35. That's per week. That's per week. I normally would have had the calculations here somewhere to help you out to get to see how much more that would be, but it is not here. Oh yes, this is it. So for that person, remember that it's up to 2020. It would have been different. Every day that you contribute, it is different. Every week that you are employed, it is different, because when you work 1 week more, it means that the calculation is a different calculation. So just as my predecessor told you, you cannot compare yours with somebody, your friend, your colleague who are working in the same organization. Their retirement date might be different. It's just that when we put in the formula, will come out with something different. So that person would have been getting $8,087.35 per week, or $32,349 per month. That is up to 2020. We are now in 2023, so that would be different. Right? It would be more because they would have contributed more. Okay? Good. Question?
Get on based on your salary, or based on the amount of years that you contribute?
Both.
Both?
Both.
Okay.
Number of years and the amount that you contribute.
Like me, you know, about 34 years, but the salary small.
Okay. So all right. If the salary was small, then it means that you get less addition to the basic, the 3,400, the amount that you see. Right? So you'll get the third because you would have been in the full category. But in addition to the $3,400 per week, you would have gotten less because the salary was small. Right? So it's both the years and the amount. All right.
A question before you go. I have a brother who migrated about 15 years ago,
Yes.
but he was working before he left for years.
Yes.
Would he still entitled to benefit of any type?
Yes. Once he contributes to the scheme, he's entitled. If you migrate, we can still process it. We have an international social security unit that deals with it for persons who live overseas. So they apply here, but they live over there. Then we can pay them in the currency of the country that they live, if they so desire. If they want us to put in a bank account here, we can put in a bank account here. But if they are over there and want us to pay it in the currency of that country, we can do so.
So in other words, then, contribution cannot lapse.
Cannot.
Like
Cannot.
our bank would have just lapse.
That is
the money.
correct, and that is why I am saying the persons who the employer didn't pay it over for you, or they didn't give us the information how much they pay for you, you are still entitled to it. It's your money, you are still entitled to it. And so as much as we can get that information so they can get a pension, ensure that you get it because it is yours. He would have to, he asks if he can apply for his brother. He'd have to make the application, right? He can elect to give it to you, that's his choice, but he has to make the application.
Okay, all right.
Question? All right. We can, spouse allowance. Spouse allowance is an additional $900 per week for a person if their spouse is not eligible for a pension in their own right. Again, I use myself. Say I contribute, I reach retirement, my wife never contribute, or cannot get a pension in her own right. I can apply to get $900 per week because I have a spouse. An additional $900 because I have a spouse that is not getting an NIS pension. Didn't know that, right?
I am a contributor, right? I reached retirement age. My husband never contributed to the scheme. No, I am receiving a pension benefit from the NIS. My husband can go in and apply for spousal allowance.
All right, so it's not your husband that do it, it's you. You are the pensioner, so you go in and make the application. Tell us that you have a spouse that is not getting or is not eligible to get a pension. So you would get an additional amount on your pension because you have a spouse. All right?
He worked for years and when he go in, they never pay any pension for him. So him not getting any pension. I think a KW or something high use at all.
All right, you are saying he worked but they did not pay it over?
No, when he went,
that's
and
a
he don't
different
get
case.
anything.
That's a different case.
So like I'm getting pension now at the NIS. Me can go in.
Oh, so he's not getting a pension?
No.
But you are? Yes, man, come in, go fill out and get your spouse allowance.
900.
Yes, right now.
Fish.
The earliest possible time. If you come into Kingston, is next week for me, remember? I'm still off this week, next week. But Spanish Town, if it is Spanish Town office, then you can go. Tell them that, is it? Will they give her back from when it started retroactively? No. Unfortunately, they will not. Just right now, onwards. Right. If your spouse died, yes. Yes, it stops. If your spouse died, it stops. Because that is the reason why you're getting it in the first place, because he or she is alive. So right now you can go and get that one. Many persons didn't know this, don't? Right. Now you know, you tell somebody and activate on it. Huh? You remarry?
No. All right, then you speak of spouse.
Spouse.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That person have to marry.
All right. All right. So for spouse, is it a married couple only? No. No, the NI Act recognizes a common law union, but it must be 5 years or more. So 5 years. I remember the advertisement with Del Cita. You remember it? Yes. So if you don't read 5 years, it will not apply. So only one spouse you can use. Yes, we have a lot of applications. Only one spouse can use. Once the person is married, marriage takes precedence. I've seen a lot of application for baby mother. When the man married, the wife takes precedence. Right? One, if she even they are foreign, wife takes precedence. All right? That's it. So that's it. NIS all is working for you. Here are our contact, telephone, email, website, and you know me, you can call me easily. Amen. Bless you, bless you, bless you.
Brothers and sisters, I crave your undivided attention, as the information I am going to give you is very, very important. So I'll go slowly, because these two persons that have presented to you this afternoon are two very, very important persons. And I make sure to get their full name, and I will be asking them if they are so desired, especially Mr. Allen, to give a number where he can be contacted. Will you, sir? No. Could you just, I have a pen here, sir. Here is your name. Here is your name, sir. Quickly, sir. No, we want him. The older people can't get through that system then. Okay. So listen, and if you want to write, so I'll go first to the lady. She is Mrs. Andrea Thomas Gale. I go again. Mrs. Andrea Thomas Gale. And Mr. Oral Allen. Mr. Oral Allen, the man who seems to be heavily wanted or needed. His number, you ready to write? Is 876 459 4868. I go again. Mr. Oral Allen, 876 459 4868. All right, thank you. So, Mrs. Gale and Mr. Allen, we are indeed grateful to you both for taking time out. I'm not going to say busy schedule. I don't know if you're busy. but taking time out to be here this afternoon and to present us with these vital information. And I must say, they have done a tremendous, I don't even know the adjectives, remarkable, good work. Put your hands together for them. And so, Madam and Sir, Madam, I don't know if there's a camera, I don't know. On behalf of the Women's Ministry of the Mystery Church of God, I take great pleasure, ma'am, to present to you with this little token, and I hope you'll find it good. I don't know if I can use this term, the Reverend Mr. Put it two of them together. The Reverend Mr. Oral Allen, on behalf of the Women's Ministry of the Mystery Church of God, we take great pleasure in present to you this little token, sir. God bless you.
Thank you, everyone, for your patience and for listening. Thanks again to Andrea and Pastor Allen. God bless you. And, okay. Okay, so we have some brochures to hand out that will give you some more information. You can read them in your quiet time and to get yourself more informed. So thanks again for listening. And for those who will be leaving us, we pray God's journey in mercy with you, and God bless you. Pardon? Yes, here. So we'll be starting our next segment at 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock. So you can just meet and greet and keep the spirit. God bless you. Amen.